Hello, my name's Violet. Welcome back if you've been before, and if you're new, um, I hope you'll stick around. This is one of my favourite days of the week on booktube, Poetry Thursday. Today I'm going to read 4 poems from one of my favourite poets, and her name is Kathleen Raine. And I thought I'd just bring up a little bit of basic info just from Wikipedia about her. She was an English poet. She was born in 1908 and died in July 2003. Now, I've got only one book of hers, which used to belong to my mother, who also really loved poetry and literature of all kinds. So anyway, back to Kathleen Raine. So she was known for her interest in various forms of spirituality, so most prominently Platonism and Neoplatonism. I had never heard of those, and I did a bit of reading about it. It looks a bit interesting, but I think the poems I've chosen don't think anything really to do with that, more nature and emotions based. And she was also a critic and a scholar. So she wrote in particular on William Blake, W.B. Yeats, and Thomas Taylor. I don't know Thomas Taylor, but if she was interested in him, I might chase that up a bit and have a look. Anyway, get rid of that. And there's another part before I get to a poem. It's really interesting in the introduction here. She writes that it's wonderful to be able to discard a whole lot of poems that she was not so happy having had published when she was younger. So this collection here is just called The Collected Poems of Kathleen Raine. It was published by Hamish in London. First published in 1956. So in the introduction, I might actually read it out because it's really quite sweet. She goes, a volume of collected poems is a poet's opportunity to discard work that should never have been published. If, when we are young and eager to establish, by publication, our presence as poets, we would realize the irrevocability of the printed word, it would be well. I cannot hope to undo the initial mistake of publishing inferior work, but I am glad to have this opportunity of acknowledging some of the worst errors. There may still be poems in this volume that should have been omitted, but I am sure that I have omitted none that deserve to be included. The poems that remain have all been given the benefit of any doubt I may feel about them. And then she goes on to say, and this is important, the measure by which I have judged my own poems is not one of comparison with the work of others, but one applicable only to myself. So how nearly does the poem approximate to the imaginative vision of which I am, in my best moments, capable? So the first one, the poem is called The Moment. To write down all I contain this moment, I would pour the desert through an hourglass, the sea through a water clock, grain by grain and drop by drop. Let in the trackless, measureless, mutable seas and sands. For earth's days and nights are breaking over me. The tides and sands are running through me, and I've only 2 hands and a heart to hold the desert and the sea. What can I contain of it? It escapes and eludes me. The tides wash me away. The desert shifts under my feet. I just thought that was beautiful. I'm not going to say too much of poems. I don't want to influence anyone's take on them. And I think for most Poetry Thursdays, I just plan on giving a brief overview of a poet if I'm focusing on one and just reading them just for enjoyment. My enjoyment and hopefully your enjoyment too. Let's see. To lyric next. Low laughter of light in gleaming sky dawns over deeps of memory. If I could listen, I should hear. If I could look, I should see the moving waves of soundless sea. But eyes blind me, thoughts bind me, time ties me, I turn away. It was I who laughed, and I was the day, the tremor of joy, and the arch of light that spans the sky. The next poem is a sadder one. Don't worry, I will finish one with a different one than this. So this one is called Spell Against Sorrow. Who will take away, carry away sorrow, bear away grief? Stream wash away, float away sorrow, flow away, bear away, wear away sorrow, carry away grief. Mists hide away, shroud my sorrow, cover the mountains, overcloud remembrance, hide away grief. Earth take away, make away sorrow, bury the lark's bones under the turf, bury my grief. Black crow, tear away, rend away sorrow, talon and beak, pluck out the heart and the nerves of pain, tear away grief. Sun take away, melt away sorrow. Dew lies grey, rain hangs on the grass, sun dry tears. Sleep take away, make away sorrow, take away the time, fade away place, carry me away from the world of my sorrow. Song sigh away, breathe away sorrow, words tell away, spell away sorrow, charm away grief. And the last one is called The Invisible Spectrum. Learn, if I dare, the order of the wind, fire, tempest, and the sea. Learn, if I dare, into what mode of being the leaf falls from the tree. Everywhere there are holes in the air, graves open to receive us. After the seventh colour, and before the first, lies darkness. Beyond sound, silence, audible to bats and deep-sea fish that feel the throb of waves. Beyond sense, the spinning spheres, atoms and stars that weave our lives. Lovers seek sanctuary in the abyss from which they fly. For in love's depths we sound the void beyond mortality. And through our sleep move latent powers, strange as nebulae, dreams not ours. So I guess I was wrong with that. It wasn't a very cheerful one to end with, but not as sad as the grief one. But I think the very first one that I read, The Moment, that one, that's my favorite of all of them. Particularly just that imagery of pouring the sea through a water clock and the desert through an hourglass, and only having two hands and a heart to hold the desert and the sea. That line in particular. And I have only two hands and a heart to hold the desert and the sea. That is just, it's beautiful. I love that. So that's it for today's Poetry Thursday. Hopefully, if you've never heard of Kathleen Raine, you might check her out. And if you do know of her works, and if you've read a few, do you have a favourite? I would like to know as well. I always do. I love interacting in the comments. So if you'd like to write something, fantastic. I will respond. If you don't feel like writing anything, I'd be quite happy just with an emoji, smiley face, flower, whatever you feel like. It's just nice to see something down there. Thanks for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you next Poetry Thursday and maybe another video in between that too. Okay, bye for now.